Hey everyone, it's Konstantin. If you're working with Dataverse or maybe Power BI Dataflows and have ever struggled with choice columns of Dataverse, this video is for you. This is a part 2 of my series on Dataverse Choice columns. Today we're focusing on multiple values, data flows, and mapping a practical demo you can use in your projects. Before we dive in, don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you want more Power Platform tips and demos. So let's start. Here is the event itinerary table from SharePoint. Notice the location column. It allows multiple values here, which can be tricky to handle in data flows, especially when you want to map this everything to the choice columns. In Dataverse, I also have a location column, which is mapped to the choice locations, and I can select multiple choices. If you look into these choices, here they are. So let's start a new data flow and connect to our SharePoint list. Notice how the location column contains multiple values. We need to expand them so they can be mapped correctly to Dataverse. By clicking this button, the column will be expanded, and now this tab flattens the multiple choice field for further transformation. So next, what we need to do, we need to create a reference table with all possible location values in Dataverse. This ensures a proper mapping later. Certainly we can use, as in my previous video, we can use the manual values and use the conditional new column, the new field. But in this case, I will show you something else. I will show you how we can do this using a blank query. So in a blank query, I want to create simply a table. My table with static values. It looks like that. These are the values that I need. So I have the labels and the values. If we look into the Dataverse, it exactly corresponds what I have in the Dataverse. So now we have two tables, one that I got from SharePoint and another one, my static table with value label pairs. We need to merge our SharePoint table with this reference table to map the multi-choice values correctly. So I don't want to enter them all manually. I will map those two tables so that instead of locations, or in addition to location label, I will get also location values. So I need to select the location column. And in the second query, I also need to select the option label so that both columns, so the merging will happen by these location and option label values. The query we can see here, I will expand it further. I do not need the option label. I will just take the option value because this is exactly what I need then to send to Dataverse. And now I can see that I have the corresponding numeric values to my locations that I see here. So after merging, we need actually to group the values so Dataverse receive them as a delimited string. Remember, the choice column of Dataverse expects either a number, in our case if this is a single value, it is a number, but we have a multiple values, multiple choice field, which means this will be string of numbers, a delimited or an array, or let's say in this case, it will be numbers with that are delimited with commas. So we will merge these so that the locations will not be the texts, but they will be the delimited option values as a delimited string. We will use a Power Query function that is called table group. And here is the function that we will use in this demo. I've prepared it beforehand, but I will explain everything that's going on there. So this is the function that I will be using. The function is, in this case, I'm using these grouped rows. All the values will be stored in the grouped rows. And then eventually I need to show these grouped rows in the end. The table group takes expanded query as the first parameter. What is an expanded query? Expanded query is a result of the previous operation. The second input parameter are the fields by which I want to group the values. Please make sure that you use some unique identifier as the first one, and the rest of the fields you can simply add them to make sure that they are also available for mapping. Certainly if you need them. If you need additional fields, you can add them here. And then the third parameter is actually the function that you are using to combine the text field, which you can see in the location, and you will use this option value, each text combine list transform option value. So the option value, this is a column that I will convert first of all to type text, and then each text I will combine and use the comma as a delimiter. Yeah, so eventually I will get to things like locations that are delimited with comma, and also I will have the option values that are also delimited with commas. I don't need the location, but I will use the option values. As you can see, I have the locations that are delimited with comma. Actually, I don't need them. And then I have option values that are also delimited with the comma. So I will use this option value for mapping into my Dataverse Choice field so that everything can be synchronized correctly. The rest of the columns, ID, session name, session type, just additional columns that I want to map. So let's click Next. Event itinerary I will load to an existing table. In the column map and description, we'll map to description. Location to location. No. It will be not location, it will be option value. Session name to name, session code to code, session time I will leave empty because we are not interested in the session type column. And then I can publish it. The only thing you might want to do is just query. If you don't need the query, you just simply say do not load. Otherwise, it will be loaded in a new table. So everything was published and also refreshed. Now we can check the Dataverse table. And as we can see, the locations were synced correctly, and the locations contain multiple values. So today we covered expanding multiple choice columns, creating a reference table, merging queries, and grouping values for Dataverse. And this workflow ensures your multiple choice data flows smoothly. If you found this video helpful, hit like, subscribe, and maybe leave a comment if you have any questions. I'd love to hear your experiences with choice columns further. Thank you for your attention.